Welcome to this good practice webinar on rural youth participation in policy making. My name is Patricia Martínez. I'm from the Rural Pact Support Office, and I'm going to be your moderator for today's session. It's a pleasure to be already seeing so many people connected. Early morning, I know that people are entering and colleagues are accepting, but for the sake of being on time with the full agenda we have for today, let's start rolling. I will present you first of all today what is that we have prepared for you. One second. And here we go. So again, welcome, and I'm Patricia Martínez from the Rural Pact Support Office. The first thing that we wanted to tell you today in the morning is why we are all here and why we have prepared this webinar. The main objective is to learn about the many practices, many policies, many tools that are effective in improving rural youth engagement in decision-making processes at the different levels, local, national, and EU level. We want to enable a meaningful exchange and learning from all the local experiences and initiatives that have been facilitating the active participation of youngsters in rural areas. We want to, with this, build our capacities so that we can promote solutions that are better adapted to the specific needs of rural young people. And also, we want to encourage and mobilize Rural Pact community members, so all of us, or if you're not a Rural Pact community member yet, hopefully you will be at the end of this webinar, to make a commitment to the path, to undertake actions that can empower rural youth and to be more active in democratic participation. Who is here today? Well, we have 12 keynote speakers. They are going to meet very shortly. We have received a very high interest for attending to participate in this webinar, over 240 applicants from 28 countries from the European Union, but also other EU countries. The participants, you are also coming with a pool rich of expertise and experiences, so do not hesitate to use the chat or during the Q&A to raise your hand, because we definitely want to hear from you and to listen to your ideas and contributions. We have had the pleasure to collaborate with the Director General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture to prepare this webinar, and they are going to be also presenting today. And lastly, to say that this is a very multi-actor webinar. In this very high interest with the over 240 participants, we have seen that over a quarter are people coming from NGOs and civil society organizations from different levels and different countries, but we also have many public authorities, many representatives from European and other international institutions, many members of local action groups, rural network, and also the private sector. So hopefully we all together are co-creating something that is meaningful with all the different actors today around the table. And what is the agenda that we have prepared? We will start with setting the scene to hear what is going on at European level in terms of initiatives and policies from the European Commission Director General of Agriculture and Development, for the DG EAC, Education, Youth, Culture and Sport. And also we're going to present you the recently created Rural Pact Community Group. After this setting of international European policies and initiatives, we are going to hear from 4 inspirational projects coming from Romania, Sweden, Scotland, and Latvia. We'll have the time for a quick coffee break, a bit of an energizer, and then we are going to move into a more practical part of the webinar, how to enhance youth participation in policy making. First, we will have a panel debate with youngsters and with policymakers that are going to tell in first person what has experience have been. And then we will all split in group discussions. We will have more presentations there, but also the opportunity to hear what you have to say. We will have a second sort of virtual coffee break, and then we will have the time to report back, to have some conclusions, the main takeaways, to hear also from the concluding words of the last speakers, and to hear what are the next steps after all this morning of presentations and exchanges. This we have prepared before we dive into the program. We wanted to do a very quick icebreaker with you. I don't know if my colleagues have already put in the chat the link to the Slido, or if you can please do that.
Yes,
And
Judy has already done that.
Perfect, thank you. I was moving from screen to screen. So I will ask you, the first thing that I'm going to ask you today in the morning is to either click on the link or to grab your phone and to scan this QR code, so that we ask you a couple of things before we kick off the program. And the first thing, something that is very simple question, but very, very relevant, very key. What is the biggest challenge that rural youth are facing today? We are particularly speaking about, in the webinar for sure, about participation in policy making, but for sure policy making is about deciding on the very various topics that affect citizens' well-being. So what is this? The population is coming very high, which is a bit connected with some of the other things: brain drain, opportunities, employment for sure. If there is no employment opportunities, it's difficult to find other growing in any area, in a rural area or any other. Disaffection, we are going to speak about this today. Okay, people keep coming, the questions, okay, let's keep moving. But then let's go to the second one. Take a minute to read them, do not select them yet. This is a ranking. What we would like to ask you is that you have a look at those that we have thought are key priorities to ensure rural youth participation. And the first one that you will click is the one that will be ranking first with the highest mark, let's say, the second and the third. So we have thought about financial support for youth-led initiatives. We have thought about what about opportunities for rural mentorship, capacity building and training. What about digital infrastructures? This can mean, for instance, proper internet access, online platforms that allowed remote participation, creation of more friendly spaces. Also, the commitment for stakeholders is not only to activate youngsters, but we also have the other side. Or tailored communication so that we know how to reach those that need to be reached and how we can better support. We have 36 replies now, and it seems that indeed it's not only about the youngsters, but also we need the commitment from all stakeholders to integrate youth voices. And again, this is something that we are very glad that you are selecting it as high in the ranking, because we are going to devote quite some time to this. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the replies. And the last one, a bit of a more fun exercise perhaps, is how do you identify yourself in terms of youth and rural connection? Would you say that you're a young rural resident, perhaps born there or connected with rural areas because of roots or because of work? Or that you are young in spirit, but living in a rural living in a rural area, sorry, or with rural roots. Maybe you are an urban person, young, but connected to rural areas, or the last one that it seems it came quite high. Not so young anymore, but definitely eager to support rural youth. Okay, I'm very happy to see we have definitely a mix, and again, because of this multi-actor approach of the webinar, it makes sense, and because we need the commitment of all stakeholders to empower youth participation in policy making, it's very important that we have this variety. Okay, let's wrap it up for this moment. We will go back to a slide later in the day. Thank you, Julie.